Tell me something I don't know. He's an expert panderer, that's for sure. Hello.
The new ad from the group Republican Voters Against Trump. The ad is set to run on Fox News in Charlotte, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., Greenville, South Carolina. That's Lindsey Graham's home state. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It's Monday, June 15th. With us we have White House reporter for the Associated Press, Jonathan Lemire, host of MSNBC's Politics Nation and president of the National Action Network, Rayshard Brooks, NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent and host of KCBC on
This is like the Star Wars bar. All these shows look like different Star Wars bars. Jesus.
Political analyst Robert Costa. He is the moderator of Washington Week.
Is his dad Bob?
And we have a lot to cover this morning. Unrest in
Costa or
Atlanta this
Costa?
morning after the fatal police-involved shooting of a black man in the parking lot of a Wendy's restaurant. One officer has been fired, another on administrative duty. Plus, a spike in coronavirus cases in several states. Arizona, Texas, and Florida are all reporting their highest confirmed number of cases yet. And amid criticism, President Trump moves the date of his Tulsa rally from Juneteenth to June 20th. Quote, out of respect for the occasion.
So,
Right.
Casey Hunt, you work out. You think there may be a little bit of discomfort in the Lindsey Graham camp?
I think that Trump moved the
really makes
rally from Juneteenth to the next day because he knew that there were going to be celebrations already for Juneteenth, and those people were going to congregate and protest and steal his thunder. But I don't think what he's counting on is that those people are going to organize the day before his rally, and they're still going to go there the next day and protest and steal his thunder. Maybe even bigger and crazier than they would have on Juneteenth. So we'll see. I think Juneteenth is June 19th, and he postponed his shindig to June 20th. People are already saying it's a stupid thing to do that with a pandemic and cases spiking. And a senator in Oklahoma came on and said how their state has been doing fantastic and is just, so good on the pandemic. But I saw a graphic that said Tulsa was going up in cases and that they're not doing too good. And everybody that's been asked about masks, about the whole thing, like Kudlow and the senator, the Republican senator, were like, trying to quote what they obviously know is true, that it's important to have a mask on, but at the same time trying to say, well, like what? Like, obviously they know that the president doesn't want to wear a mask and he's not going to do it. They're making everybody sign a waiver that goes to the Tulsa rally that says that if you get the deadly COVID-19 virus, that you can't sue us. Seems pretty crazy. People are actually going to risk their lives to go there for a goddamn Trump rally. Hello. Nobody needs to vilify Joe Biden. Joe Biden voted for the Iraq War. He's a sexist that had a bill called Violence Against Women Act. And I've been raped by a woman. I've been the victim of domestic violence from a woman. And I've been abused by the Los Angeles Police Department. So a lot of good Joe Biden's bill did me. The guy just fucking panders to everybody that will listen. He puts he sees which way the wind's blowing and goes, "That's what I think. I'm on that side."
What you see here with this Lindsey Graham ad is an attempt to soften President Trump's support.
I don't think he knows what he thinks about abortion. You know, he's a Catholic, so Catholics are against it. But he's a Democrat, and Democrats are for it. So if you want to hear somebody backtrack and do verbal gymnastics, just ask Biden a few questions about abortion. And you'll see how fucking clueless he is. He'd probably cry and ask to see the polls.
Many of the polls have done a little here this weekend. For the first time, Johnny Ernst fell behind. For the first time,
Costa.
rating dropping since the 5 years that she's been there to her lowest numbers. And the Democrat leading in Iowa. Private polls showing Donald Trump falling behind in Iowa.
Reverend Al looks like a corpse. You know, were they? Looks like he's been embalmed. Poor bastard.
Really bad news for Republican Senate candidates in Arizona, in Colorado, in Maine. North Carolina is going to be a real challenge for them. You just have an article out this morning about the problems that these
Republicans are afraid. I'm sure they're very afraid.
We're looking at Johnny Ernst, who promised to be this.
They're just gonna throw money at all the states he might not win and try to advertise and bash Biden. And it'll be a goddamn shit show, and we'll see where the chips land.
Joe, first of all, you'll see I got the memo about the tie to wear today. Conversation. We look great. Conversation perfectly. My colleague Alan Brandon and I had out this very morning about the sort of dilemma that some Republicans who are up for re-election are facing. Is how closely should they embrace President Donald Trump now, just 5 months until they face voters again? We are seeing, of course, some Republicans.
It's blowhard. How much? What can we do? I just heard on Fox News that Andrew Cuomo is he's making some sweeping changes in New York as far as the police reform is concerned. And one thing that he's writing into law is he's ordering that if a civilian takes a video of a police officer, that they can't steal that video from them. They have to let them keep it. And that's pretty amazing. I just wrote a story in A Brand New World, the addendum, and it was called The Cover-Up. And it was basically the story of George Floyd's death, but the officer that killed him walked over and asked that woman for her camera and took it from her and then deleted the video. And then they said that Floyd died from a drug overdose. So it's a good thing that they didn't do that, but if they would have done that, they might have gotten away with it. There's actually a couple of other videos, too, that were kind of just partial videos. One from across the street, one from the first part of the issue, when they asked him to get out of the car and had him stand. And then there's also the body cam videos that the public hasn't seen yet. So they might not have gotten away with it if they tried to do that. But they probably would have. Cops know how to get away with stuff.
We've got a lot more politics to cover straight ahead, but let's get to the latest on the coronavirus. The death toll this morning is at nearly 117,000 Americans. And the fear of a second wave.
Worldometers.info website has about 2,000 more people listed.
Health experts warn that once states begin to reopen, a surge in cases will follow. So for thousands of Americans have been sickened by the virus, and new and
they're already predicting like 1,000 people are going to die every day.
Coronavirus cases were climbing in 22 states, particularly Over the weekend, Florida saw its largest single-day count of cases since the pandemic began. The
Jesus
state
Christ.
of Oregon paused its gradual reopen due to a spike in cases. Hospitals in Arizona have been urged to activate emergency plans to cope with a flood.
I'm going to go visit the island of Niihau, the Forbidden Island, because it's the only island I haven't been to. And the people that are doing the tour said that the state has relaxed its order to quarantine for 14 days as of June 16th. I had not heard that, but if that's true, then the cases are going to rise in Hawaii. I'm in Kauai right now, and it's been pretty tame here. Only 21 cases, no deaths, 1 hospitalization, and there were no new cases for weeks until a couple days ago. There was 1 other case that was confirmed here.
According to the Tulsa World, Dr. Bruce Stark said the city is seeing a, quote, significant increase in case trends that makes a large gathering like the rally dangerous, not only for attendees, but for the president himself. Over the weekend, state officials reported 225 new cases of COVID-19.
But Hawaii thinks that they see things a week or 2 after the mainland. Kind of, it makes its way over here. And I think that Hawaii kind of goes off of what the West Coast does. So if Oregon is changing its mind about reopening, and Washington and California do it, then Hawaii is probably going to pull back too.
Agreed not to hold the campaign liable if they contract the coronavirus.
You've had the president complaining, watching images of people marching in the street saying if they can do that, why can't I start holding my rallies again? This is going to be a significant challenge for the White House, rhetorically, politically, logically, in the coming weeks, because you hear White House officials and advisors to the president over the weekend that they are blaming Mexico and the border for some of the cases around the border of this country, the Sun Belt, and yet at the same time the president's holding this rally.
And I don't think it's a real big mystery, like some people are acting like it is, The states that look like they had good weather over Memorial Day and probably had people outside doing stuff, making contact with other people, maybe going to businesses near the beaches and whatever, are the ones with the uptick. Florida, Texas, Arizona, and so forth. They're all the ones that probably went out and did a bunch of things for Memorial Day weekend and brought the virus back with them, spread it around. It's not rocket science.
The event sparked some concerns about the president's own health, particularly this moment over the weekend where he
I was out today and they're making people wear masks still in Hawaii. The bus made me wear it. The bus gave me a bandana because I forgot my mask, my bandana. Big gaudy orange one with an advertisement on it or something. And Safeway made me wear it. And
there's no indication, however, that the ramp was slippery on a clear sunny day. President Trump also raised some questions during his West Point speech after taking a moment to sip some water by holding
Walmart made me wear it.
his right hand, but needing
it's pretty weird seeing going. I haven't been to Walmart in a while, but going there and seeing everybody with a face covering was just like bizarre.
South Carolina people talking about the president's health. We'll leave the doctors for that.
Very strange. Never seen anything like it. Jesus. One guy even had like a shield on, like a plastic face shield. I was like, whoa. Sounds a little overkill.
Clip for clip, stumble for stumble, Donald Trump seems to be right in line with Joe Biden or many cases even worse. That's right, Joe. It's certainly the matter of a president's health. It is of great importance to the American public, and there have certainly been questions about some of the information reported, some of President Trump's previous physicals. But you're right. There's no sense of we'll leave others to speculate as to what was transpiring on Saturday. We will say that you, of course, can't let any possible
Walmart didn't have any shortages. They did have a notice that said, please only buy one box of alcohol wipes. So, and for the first time I saw they had boxes of 100 instead of 200. That was different. So I bought 2 different types of alcohol wipes so I could buy 2. I don't know if they would have said anything if I would have bought, 2 or 3 or 4 at the same time. And they had a whole bunch. But I wasn't desperate for them, and I haven't been using a lot of them lately, and I already had some. But since I'm on an island, I've learned to stock up on things because they disappear and they never come back sometimes. Or they come back, days, weeks later. So when this nonsense first started hitting Hawaii, I already had a pretty good reserve of the stuff that I needed to stay safe and healthy and clean. Because I always buy a little ahead to begin with. Because I'm on an island and it takes a while to get here. And sometimes they run out of stuff and don't get it back for a long time.
Doddering moments. I still question, in terms of questioning his health, having this event, forcing these cadets to come and stay for 2 weeks and interact with each other and be together at an event. It's just dangerous, it's unnecessary, and the president, once again, is pushing for a photo op.
I don't know, Fox News had one of the students on that was there graduating at West Point, and the guy sounded like he was totally reading a script. It actually sounded like he was reading a script that he would have read right before the event, because he misspoke a word, and I was like, that would have fit in before the event. But be that as it may, it sounded contrived, and it looked pretty goofy, just Donald Trump looking back and forth. And one video I saw actually was zoomed out and it showed he had 2 teleprompters right here, one on each side. I knew he was reading off 2 teleprompters, but he's doing a bad job at it. Just, God damn. Does he really have nothing in his brain and heart that he could just say to people that he's got to read it off things? Is what he says, is it such a liability that he's got to stay on script the whole time? It's pretty funny, he used to make fun of people that read off of teleprompters before he started doing it, and I agreed with him. And then I told him how dumb he looked. He still doesn't.
The second officer, Devin Brosnan, has been placed on administrative duty. And Atlanta's police
I don't agree with this. I think this was a tragedy that he shot this man and he died. I think he could have shot him once in the leg instead of twice in the back. But be that as it may, look at what the guy did. He passed out drunk in the line of Wendy's. This is his attorney, and this guy's a wanker. I don't know why these people give attorneys time. Attorneys are the most biased people on the planet. If you ever want to get one side of the story, talk to an attorney. Attorneys are known for being shady, slick, weird, goddamn people that only care about getting their client off. But be that as it may, the guy passes out in a Wendy's drive-through line, and then he won't move his car when the cops ask him to move his car, and he passes out again after he talks to the police. So the police call another police officer, and they ask him again if they can move his car. And they're just asking him to move his car. That's all they're asking him. Is to get out of the goddamn Wendy's drive-through line and park your fucking car over somewhere else. And he won't do it. And then they give him a breathalyzer test. And then they try to put him under arrest. And he fights them, and it's on videotape. He won't let him put him in handcuffs. I didn't fight back with the LAPD when they wanted to put me in handcuffs. And I didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. And they pretended like I was resisting, and they jammed him in so fucking hard I got a scar right there. And I intend on litigating one day. Because it's probably wiser than hunting them down. But be that as it may, how many laws can this guy break until somebody says, well, shit, this guy is a criminal. Maybe we shouldn't side with the criminal. Maybe we should think about what it's like to be in the cop's shoes. So this drunk guy who won't move his fucking car fights with these guys, throws punches at them, rolls around on the ground, the two police officers. And then he grabs the taser from them and runs. He runs. Where the hell is he going? They have his car. Is he just going to live on the lam? Is he just going to be a fugitive for the rest of his life? You know, he's obviously not thinking this situation through. And how dare you not condemn that fucking guy? God damn you. So anyway, this fucking guy points his goddamn taser that he stole from the police back at the police and fires it at them. And then the police ducks it, runs into a vehicle, does a spin, drops his taser, pulls out his gun and shoots him. Jesus Christ. And then he gets fired. The guy gets fired after all that bullshit. I would just be all, okay, I'm done. See ya. Fuck this. You know what? I think he's saying, fuck you too.
The fact that he was shot in the back, proves that he was on his fleeing, not confronting.
Sounds like a great guy. Maybe we should give him the Medal of Freedom.
But also, and I know you're tapped into these cases and trying to help, the police chief resigning, I'm curious if you know anything about that.
She switched jobs. That's not really resigning, you know? And you're no longer the police chief, but you still work for the same employer. I don't know if that's really called resigning.
Listening to them and talking to them and really trying to establish calm and understand more. And in this case, now she has abruptly resigned. Do we know anything about what's behind that?
What I'm hearing is that because there's been some incidents, there was the police that
So anyways, this asshole is trying to run away from the cops with her fucking taser. And I heard it explained very well from a man on CNN. And he was saying that, you know, because this guy had a taser, the police were allowed to use their gun. And the reason why is because if he shot the police with his taser, the police's taser, he could incapacitate the police and then grab the policeman's gun and then kill the policeman. And that made sense. Horrible as it is, that made sense. You know? So you can't say that the police officer used excessive force on the guy, and you couldn't use the argument that the guy had a non-deadly weapon, so he should have just ran around with him until he passed out again. You know? Because he could have shocked the shit out of him and then taken his gun and killed him. You know, I don't know what in the hell people want police officers to do. Play patty cake with people? Go pretty please with sugar on top? I mean, goddamn. This guy committed a whole bunch of crimes. And they, you know, it's a real shame and a tragedy that he was killed. Didn't have to happen. It shouldn't have happened. But to condemn the police and to say that they're guilty of a crime for doing their job that way might be a stretch. You know, it's for a jury to figure out. That's all I got to say. At least it was caught on a whole bunch of videos. The Wendy's video, a dash cam video, body cam video. So the facts in the case are not going to be a question. It's just going to be, you know, a matter of did he do the right thing or not. But then they burnt down a fucking Wendy's. And they're very unapologetic about doing it too. I mean, if they don't want police officers to use their weapons, maybe they should give them a net. You know, I saw a pretty cool video of a drone net in Japan, and I think the police were using it, and they were flying over people and catching them with a net. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Now maybe they should do that. You know, if they don't want police to use their gun, they should give them a drone with a net, something. Some kind of Spider-Man net capture thing. Because, you know, there comes a point where somebody's just asking for it. I recently blogged, you know, my experiences with the police and talked all about all of my experiences with the police as far as I can remember. And I've been in contact with a lot of police. And some of the instances could have went really bad. Could have went south real quick if I would have done this kind of stuff that I've seen on TV. You know, there's goddamn LAPD police officers that abused me for no reason. I just realized yesterday, now because it's 12:28, that they could have actually killed me. They could have tossed me over the balcony because when they pretended that I was resisting arrest or resisting detainment because I was never arrested and I didn't do anything, these jackasses abused me with their fucking handcuffs. And if I would have actually resisted arrest or tried to run or get away or turn around or whatever, they could have just tossed me right over that balcony. And it would have been my word against theirs, and nobody would have, there's no witnesses. So they could have gotten away with murder. I don't know if that was their intent. Could have been. You know, who in the hell would think their intent would be to abuse me physically with fucking handcuffs and make scars on my wrists and detain me for no reason whatsoever after committing no crimes and never being charged with anything. You know, so there's a big problem with police brutality, and I recognize that now. And I'll never forget it. And I know there needs to be reform. But some people commit a bunch of crimes. And some people run. And some people threaten with weapons. You know, if you want to do that kind of stuff, and that changes the landscape.
Headlines: Elizabeth Warren may have been against big money as a candidate. Tonight, she's hosting a top-dollar virtual fundraiser for Joe Biden. Warren is also believed to be on Biden's short list to be his running mate. And Israel just approved $2.3 million to build a new settlement named after President Trump. Trump Heights was first announced in 2019 as a thank you gift for the U.S. recognizing Israel's claim over the Golan Heights. The settlement will house up to 300 families.
This is nonsense. What a load of shit.
Hey, thank you very much, Angelique. Hey, amid growing calls to defund or dismantle police departments, one watch company is speaking to thank the men and women who are actually patrolling.
I almost wonder if Fox News broadcast that just to take people's temperature to see what they're thinking about Netanyahu and Israel and all that. Because Netanyahu right now has been charged with several crimes, and he could face some years in prison. And I suspect he's done more than he's charged for, and that they can't pin all the crimes on him that he's done. So they're just trying to get him for a couple crimes that they can prove. Of course, he says he's innocent, so it's going to take a while to go through the court system. I still don't think anarchy is exactly the answer, and I wouldn't say to get rid of every police department. I think people would go apeshit if we did that, and I still think there's more good cops than bad cops, and I've had more good experiences than bad experiences.
The number's pretty overwhelming. They say on average, the average man or women.
I've had cops not take me to jail, even though I had a silly warrant, like a ticket warrant that turned into something bigger because I didn't pay it. And they could have taken me to jail, but they didn't. But then again, I had a cop take me to jail when he was about to write me a ticket, and he didn't have to take me to jail. You know, I've had cops give me a warning when they could have given me a speeding ticket. Then again, I've had cops give me a jaywalking ticket when they could have given me a warning. And I've had cops giving me a ticket for sleeping in the park when they could have just given me a warning. But, you know, when a cop enforces the law and gives you a ticket for disobeying the law, I don't really consider that a bad cop. You know, in my experience, I've only met a few bad cops.
So, Elon, as I look at your watch company, and we've had you on before for different instances, we see how well produced that ad is. Do you worry about backlash in a time in which Drew Brees, who's worshipped for what he's done for that city on and off the football field, is vilified the next day because he says, I'll stand for the flag? Do you worry that somebody's going to get in a society which fires a play-by-play announcer because he says all lives matter, that you're going to get backlash here?
Silly. I think businesses right now are ready to listen and pander and change and do whatever it takes to get business back. Big businesses and little businesses, because they don't know if their business is going to bounce back and they're going to get customers again, you know, because of the COVID-19 stay-at-home orders. But even as big as the NFL, I think they're worried, but and the MLB. They don't know if they're going to get their fans back or when they're going to have normalcy and how much money they're going to lose, and if their owners or whoever is going to have to declare bankruptcy. I think they're kind of freaking out. A lot of businesses are. And they're ready to make changes if they think it's going to make people happy. Drew Brees is an interesting player because I used to have San Diego Chargers season tickets, and he came from San Diego. And now he's obviously in New Orleans. He sounded like he didn't have much of a clue about racism or what was going on, and figured he was just going to take the side that felt right to him. Then he realized how that side actually wasn't standing with a lot of his teammates and people. Well, that's cool. Man. Stand up for what you believe in, and you always have the opportunity to change your mind. Gene knows the trip. HLN. What's going on with this lady? This is funny. CNN's sister station broadcasts at the same time as CNN.
Interesting, the assignment. So the police chief there says that because officers are not inside the abandoned station, that is taking triple the amount of time to be able to respond to calls that they do get in that general area. Let's go to Idaho. Police there confirmed that human remains found last week are those of two children who've been missing since September, 17-year-old Kylie Ryan and 7-year-old JJ Vallow. Now, authorities say that their remains were found at the home of their stepfather, Chad Daybell, who is now accused of destroying evidence. Their mom, Lori, was already in custody. Vallow and Daybell married in November, not long after their previous spouses died. You know, at least one White House official is encouraging people to wear masks if they're going to attend the president's campaign rally. That happens in Tulsa this week.
People must observe the safety guidelines, okay? Must. The social distancing must be observed. Face coverings and key places must be observed. I'm glad to see you calling for people to wear masks, and I assume that also means absolutely
They can wear a mask right now, as far as I'm concerned.
The Trump rally in Tulsa this Saturday. Well, okay, probably so.
I don't know why they're asking him anyway. He's a financial advisor, Larry Kudlow. He's caring about economics. But, you know, if people get sick, it's going to hurt the economy. So, yeah, I think he sees that. But he doesn't want to cross Trump because he knows Trump ain't going to wear a mask. And he assumes they're not going to make people wear masks. I would be shocked if they don't have a spike in cases in Tulsa after this conference. Or rally, or whatever you want to call it. Cult meeting. I don't wear it on my bike when I'm out, but or like standing at the bus stop. When there's two people there, I'll just stand, 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet away from them. But I'll wear it on the bus. I'll wear it in Safeway. I'll wear it in Walmart. Wear it in the health food store. Laundromat, nobody's wearing them here in Kauai, so I didn't wear mine in the laundromat. I'm not afraid of getting the virus. I'm certain that I'll overcome it. I'm a strong person. Good immune system. But if it's the rules, then I'll play ball. Because I've seen a lot of people dying, according to the numbers. I tried to watch this on the racism one, and it was not good. It was miserable. It wasn't funny. It wasn't fun. It was just like, oh god, it was cringeworthy. So I think this is the second one. This was on the COVID-19. Couldn't have been worse.
I'd like to join some of the troops by giving a shout out to my kids serving in the military. Army Captain Nicole Ono, presently in company commander at basic training installation. Also my son Tyler, Staff Sergeant Hockenberry, who is currently deployed to a combat zone overseas. Together they have over 20 years combined service. I retired with 21 years active federal service.
Combat zone. It's nice and ambiguous. Which combat zone overseas? Yemen? Is he in Yemen? Jesus. I didn't know we had combat zones overseas. God damn. Afghanistan, yeah, there's all types of combat zones overseas. The U.S. has returned all kinds of countries into combat zones.
It's a tragedy the man died. Nobody wants that. We just be clear on that. Nobody. I'm getting tired of me putting boxes on this too. Which one the guy to die? Of course not. Don't be stupid. Don't talk like it's that's not helping. But we live in a time where the temperature's never coming down at all. And I was just kind of discussing this one of the producers. I know you're not supposed to say that, but I was. The temperature never comes down, Steve, and it doesn't come down in our culture and our society because people want to inflate the situation rather than look at it reasonably. You just asked the key question I've been asking all weekend on the network. If you're a police officer trained in the use of force continuum, what do? You have a man alleged to be intoxicated who's behind the wheel of a car blocking the window and the windows. The Wendy's call, Steve, these officers didn't show up because they had nothing to do. They didn't show up because they wanted a burger. They showed up because the Wendy's called the police. Do you just not show up? Okay, now that you've shown up, the man takes a breathalyzer. It's alleged, I don't have the, but it's alleged the man was drunk. What do you do then? You let him get back behind the wheel? Okay, obviously not. Now you have to arrest him. The man doesn't want to be arrested. He violently attacks the police officer on video. What do you do now? Let him beat the snot out of you to your death, take your gun and shoot you? Okay, then he takes your taser. One more. He runs away. He then proceeds, after running away, to stick the taser, point it in your face, and discharge it. What do then? You just let him go? I don't understand what people who are inflaming rather than trying to help the situation wanted these officers to do here.
Dan, what would you have done in this situation? I heard over the weekend a lot of people talking about firing shots in a parking lot where there are a lot of people, there were a lot of cars in the line.
Give him a hot foot, maybe shoot it at his feet or his legs or something.
Taser, and then the shots in the back. The guys
Or just run the dumb guy down and tackle him.
Well, running away is candidly irrelevant on this. Running away when you're not a threat, don't have a weapon, there's no evidence you had a weapon is one thing. Running away when you violently attacked the police officer, stole one of his weapons, and discharged the weapon at the police officer is an entirely different scenario. Ainsley, there's a lot of confusion out there, and it really candidly bothers me when people talk about this and don't understand basic use of force rules. The use of force rules do not dictate anywhere that there has to be a deadly threat to someone else. There has to be a threat of serious physical injury or death for you to use deadly force. A police officer who was witnessing someone attacking someone else with a bat or firing a taser in their face doesn't have to say, well, I have to use an equal amount of force, meaning I have to get my bat or I have to hit him with my taser. That's not the way use of force works. I know it's uncomfortable for people to hear, but what would I do, candidly? Not much different. And I know that's painful, and I know a lot of people say, oh my gosh, we could have maybe you could have shot him in the legs. That's not how police officers are trained. That is not how they're trained to stop a scenario with their firearm. They're not trained to kill. That is a myth. They're trained to stop. And when you fire your weapon, God forbid, you fire it center mass because you have the most likelihood of engaging with the target at center mass and not someone else in the parking lot. You know, all of the Monday morning quarterbacks here, they still have not explained what they would do when someone turns around who's violently attacked.
That's a good point.
Pointed a weapon in your face at point blank range. None of them have explained what they're going to do. Were you just going to take it? You're going to take the taser out to the face? I mean, some of the commentary here is candidly juvenile. I think we can agree on this.
Yeah.
They fired the police chief. They fired the cop. You can't rush into this. The cop deserves at least an investigation. You can't say I fear of an uprising and mass protest again, so I have to rush the cop and not give him the due process. I think that is safe to say. Let's fast forward a little bit to the autonomous zone that continues to thrive in Seattle. They stopped them as they started to spring up in other cities, thankfully.
I think the mayor for Atlanta kind of rushed to judgment, saying condemning the police officer. I don't understand why she couldn't have been more democratic.
I believe, especially after I was at the march yesterday, or the day before yesterday, with Black Lives Matter, and I was looking
frankly, I don't think the cops are going to want to work in her district if they know she doesn't have their back when they try to do their job. And she already blew it on the voting machines, and she already had cops that broke a guy's window to tase him when he was sitting in his car and tase his girlfriend. You know, I don't know how she could be considered as a vice presidential candidate. I don't know what in the hell she's done. Keisha Lance Bottoms.
I can't believe where we are right now. That in the United States of America, we're having conversations about defunding the police, about a group of protesters who have taken over an area of a small city, and where in America, if you dare to say something so uncontroversial as all lives matter, you're stigmatized as some kind of a racist. I mean, think about this, guys.
Ridiculous.
Where are we right now? You have a bunch of protesters who've taken over a small city, and we're wondering what to do? Is this insane? I mean, what comes next? The guillotine inside there? I mean, this is really insane. Somebody's got to do something. I'm telling you, one more thing before I go. I know this fight's coming to your front door. To every single person watching, I am not kidding. Something happened this week in my house that is never dead. It's shaken me to the core. It's not violent. Everybody's okay. I don't want to be dramatic. But it shook me. My kids aren't even being left out of this. You are going to have to pick a damn side. And there's a right side to this, and there's a wrong side to this. And the right side is real, authentic justice. Not street justice, not burning down the damn Wendy's, not taking over a small town, and not crapping on people because they believe every life in this country matters. Everyone's going to have to take a stand. You cannot sit this one out, everyone. Everyone's got to stand up and do the right thing. This fight, I promise you, is coming to your front door. Dan Bongino joining us
Pretty wild.
down in Florida. Dan, thank you very much.
I know. It's wild.
13 minutes now before the top of the hour. Jillian joins us from the men's main level.
Good morning, and we begin your headlines with this story. A father is charged with second-degree murder after his two young children are found dead in his truck. Dustin Lee Dennis telling Tulsa, Oklahoma police he fell asleep for 5 hours after running an errand on Saturday. When he woke up, Dennis found 4-year-old daughter Tegan and 3-year-old son Ryan on the floor of his locked truck. The temperature was in the 90s. Police armed with guns are seen guarding the Christopher Columbus statue in Philadelphia amid calls to take it down. Fights breaking out as protesters and counter-protesters clashed. At least 2 people were arrested. A group of people also storming Mayor Jim Kenney's girlfriend's house, voicing their opposition against his treatment of police officers. First responders and fishermen caught on camera pulling a man from a burning car. Watch this. The unconscious driver crashed and went airborne. This was in New Jersey. Officers say the car caught fire after another vehicle hit it. 2 fishermen nearby were able to cut the driver's seatbelt. The driver is being treated for serious injuries. Let's look at your headlines. Listen back to you. Okay, thanks, Jillian. Located over to Janice, who has the forecast for today. Hey, JD.
Good morning. A beautiful forecast across the Northeast today. However, a little bit more south of us across North Carolina, that's where we're going to see the potential for heavy rainfall because we have a stalled front and a cutoff low, which means a very slow-moving system is going to bring increasing moisture across portions of the southeast and the mid-Atlantic. That includes you in North Carolina and parts of South Carolina as well. The other big stories we are following today, not only the heavy rainfall across the southeast and the mid-Atlantic, but we do have unsettled weather across the northwest today and fire danger over the Great Basin and parts of the southwest where we have breezy conditions and dry and warm weather for the next couple of days. Steve Ainsley, Brian, back to you, my friend.
All right, Janice, thanks. Meanwhile, let me tell you what's coming up straight ahead. Some states seeing an increase in the coronavirus cases, so what do we need to know? And why are some cases in some states going down? Dr. Nicole Sapphire comes to us live after the break.
Yeah, I don't know. Bongino makes a lot of sense. He was an ex-New York police officer, and he was a Secret Service agent. But yeah, just trying to put yourself in their shoes makes sense. And I know Fox takes a lot of heat, but sometimes they're right, and sometimes they make a lot of sense too. Sometimes they disagree with the president. I was going to say something about a couple of those quick stories they did at the end, but then I didn't want to interrupt, and then they kept going on and on. It's one of those things where I think when people are a little bit off and lose perspective, it opens the door for them to just lose a lot of perspective and just run off in the wrong direction and totally get it wrong and keep getting it wrong. And I think the mainstream media has done that quite a bit. And most people don't consider Fox News part of the mainstream media, and that's fine, I guess.